Hey guys, it's Dan, your host, your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead universe, and in today's video, we're going to be looking back on the first season, and what looks to be the only season of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and we're going to be doing our full review, giving our thoughts on the entire season. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. This one we're going to be doing our full review for Season 1 of The Ones Who Live. We're going to go through our reactions, our thoughts, and talk about the season overall and what we thought about it. So I kind of waited to do this one mostly because I wanted to let the season sit. I wanted to let things kind of, linger a little bit. Gather thoughts, do some rewatching, do some stuff like that, and then come on back and do this video. So this is probably the last Ones Who Live, full video we're going to do, because it's been over for a little while now. But I wanted to at least look back on the season and do a full season review before we move on to other things coming up in the franchise, right? Makes sense. So, now, okay, this season. All right, so I gotta tell you, this is a phenomenal season. This is a phenomenal season of TV. I really think it's near perfect. I really do. I just think there are a few things they could have done better, but we're going to discuss that in this video. That's what this is for. So, this show, right, we anticipated it for many, many years. At first, it was a movie, then it turned into a TV show, and then it turned into a post-apocalyptic love story, is pretty much what this is. And this show kind of had balls, I'm not going to lie to you, because they introduced the show with Rick cutting himself and then Rick cutting his hand off. That's a pretty ballsy way to start a show. And again, Rick as a character in this show, I really liked him. I liked how they showed the struggles of what he was really going through, the lengths that he went to get back to his family, I thought were really phenomenal. And I think overall, Andrew Lincoln really just killed it, to be honest. He really did. He just killed it. And, they went for the hand approach. They gave him a really cool weapon. I dug it. I thought it was really good. I know not everybody did, but I thought it was great. It was really cool to see him in that vulnerable position. Even when escaping the CRM, he had that mindset. He had that, no, I got to go back type of thing, which again, I know not everybody liked it. I personally did, because you got to keep in mind, he has been away from this group way, longer than anybody should have. I mean, he has been with this group for I think almost 8, 9 years, and he's been with Michonne and Daryl and the rest of them for 2-3 years. He's been with the CRM a lot longer. So to put it bluntly, they definitely at this rate, I mean, they definitely have a lot of things going on with this character. His head is kind of in the clouds and stuff like that. And, well, on the opposite side, Michonne, I really liked her plot as well, too. She had, the cool storyline with Nat. She had the cool storyline, with her trying to find Rick. The desperation, of course, trying to heal after the chlorine gas or whatever it was. And, it was really, really good. And I think overall, both of Rick and Michonne's plots, far apart from each other with the first 2 episodes, I think were really well done. We met a lot of really cool characters like Okafor, who ties back into the LA and Atlanta stuff, which was really cool. Really liked his character. And overall, I thought the Michonne stuff with, Nat and, that couple as well, too, it was really good. We met a lot of really cool new characters. And, I know, and I think this is definitely going to get to one of the things that people didn't like about this season is the deaths, which I guess we'll go into that next. I know not everybody liked the instant deaths. For me, this is what I'd say about them overall. Okafor's death, I loved. I thought it was great. I thought he fulfilled his purpose in the story, to be fully honest. And it was a good, shocking, gruesome, out-of-nowhere death. I thought that was really well done. Now, as for Nat's death, I would say, I liked his death too. And, the reason I like his death is because just like Okafor, I don't understand what you could have done with him in the overall story. You're doing a story about Rick and Michonne inside the CRM. You're not going to be able to have Nat just on the outside doing God knows what. Nobody would care, It was smart on the writers. It was smart for them to kill him off in the way that they did. It was cool to have him when he was there, but I think having Nat as a one-episode character just like Okafor made a lot of sense, Now, we also had a few other deaths in this show. We had Jadis, which was another huge death. that was a character that I was really impressed with in this show. And overall, Jadis, I mean, I think it's definitely a good time now to kind of focus on her as well, too. Jadis was really good. You know, they brought her back from The World Beyond. They brought her back from the original Walking Dead, which is really cool. Definitely a really cool decision because she, you know, obviously tied in and stuff like that. And she was the most brainwashed. She was the most, you know, like, I believe in the CRM type of character just in general, you know. I liked what they did with her, even giving us some flashbacks with Father Gabriel to get, you know, Seth Gilliam back on set. I thought was, you know, really, really powerful and definitely really hit home, you know. And her death was really good, you know, and it led to Rick proposing to Michonne, which I thought was really cool. It's like Jadis' death was kind of like setting up for that as well, too. You know, it meant something, which I thought was really good. And well, overall, I liked the pacing. I liked what they did with the overall characters. Pearl Thorne was another one. I really liked her character. I thought she was really, really well done. Until the finale. I think the finale, they kind of screwed her up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But I liked Pearl Thorne, but I think the finale was kind of a jarring one for me with her character. I just wish they ended her better. But overall, I did like her. I just, you know, I'd say they could have ended her character in a better way. Now, Major General Beale, okay, so here comes the first flaw, I'd say, for this season overall. Like, the first true problem. Major General Beale was underused as all get out. I mean, honestly, and I think a lot of us could agree with that. I've seen a lot of people have that opinion, and I agree. You know, Major General Beale was not used in the capacity that he should have been used. You had Terry O'Quinn. I understand that he's a big actor, and some people may say, well, you know, Dan, maybe the reason why they didn't use him so much is because the actor was so big. Well, my argument to that would be then, well, why did you hire an actor that you could barely use? You know, because this is Major General Beale. This is the leader of the CRM. This is the son of a bitch that's kept Rick locked up for all these years, you know? And that's all you give him? It just felt so off to me. It felt so off and random and weird to off him in the way that they did. And again, you know, this kind of goes into another flaw of this season, and I think this one's another one, is the CRM overall. Disappointing group, absolutely. You know, the fact that they would set up a group of explosives nearby all of the high-ranking soldiers conveniently in one spot, very, very difficult writing to get behind, I'm not gonna lie. So that was also very plot convenient. Everything felt very plot convenient in the finale to get our, you know, characters to come out on top, which is obviously Rick and Michonne. It felt like a very, like, okay, we know that we can't have another season because Denai and Andy are tough to get a hold of, so let's just end the group now. Let's just end it. Let's just speed run this and get it done, you know? Which, in a way, I understand, but at the same time, you definitely should have done more. You definitely should have done more with them. Absolutely. So that's definitely something that does affect this season somewhat, is the way that they handled the finale of that group and the way that they handled that. Yeah, for sure. But we also got a lot of things that we wanted to see. You know, Rick and Michonne's reunion was beautiful. Rick and Judith's reunion was absolutely amazing. You know, the family reunion ending to this show, I think, was absolutely phenomenal. Despite what some people may say about, like, oh, like, you know, why are they meeting up in the woods and stuff like that. And I feel like people don't recognize that the reason why they did that, yes, I'm sure it's for budgetary reasons. I'm sure there's a reason for that, but I feel like script-wise, they also did it to where you're not focused on, like, a huge group of people surrounding them. It's about those four characters and just those four characters, you know, which makes sense. Now, in terms of, you know, overall this season, in terms of, you know, the writing and in terms of the direction and in terms of, you know, all that stuff, all the cameos and everything they did this overall satisfy? Did this first season satisfy for the ones who live? I still say it did, to be honest. In particular, if this is a limited event, I think they did the best that they could. I think my only two complaints with the season overall, to be honest, and, you know, one of them is major, one of them is small. CRM's wrap-up in the finale, very, very poor writing there. Definitely not the way that should have gone. And then another minor flaw, I would say, is even though I think the story overall, because they call this a love story, because they call this the love story of Rick and Michonne, you know, it kind of makes you think like, okay, but that's not all this is going to be about. by the time the finale came up and you had some of those cringe dialogues between, you know, Michonne and Pearl Thorne where she's like, love doesn't die, and like some of these cringy pieces of dialogue, I mean, honestly, like some of the dialogue choices and some of the love story ideas that they kind of forced down our throats was a little much. And I think the love story approach to this show mostly worked until the final episode. I think they went a little overboard on that in the final episode. But overall, those are my only two, like, you know, one of them's kind of like a nitpick, and then the other one's like a big flaw. So I am definitely sitting in a 9 out of 10 for this season. I'm definitely sitting in a 9 out of 10. I think that's a good rating for this show. I loved it. I really did. I wish I could give it a 10 out of 10 because I think it was really close to making it there. But overall, the CRM and the way they built them up, and Beale as a villain, and just that whole, you know, kind of final act of the show, minus the family reunion, felt very, very rushed. And I, you know, for that, I can't give it a perfect 10 out of 10. But I can definitely give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great, great season. And again, though I think there are maybe, you know, parts of the Daryl Dixon show that are objectively better, this is definitely my favorite out of the spinoffs, for sure. Absolutely. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about The Ones Who Live overall? What did you think about the show? Would love to hear your thoughts. And of course, guys, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos of The Walking Dead. Be sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of The Walking Dead Ones Who Live. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.